Welcome, everyone, to Real Estate on the Up, the podcast that takes you behind the scenes of the real estate world in Orlando. I'm your host, Kyle Madoran, and on this show, we're all about pulling back the curtain with the unfiltered truth about real estate. We're not just here to sell houses. We're here to provide concierge-style service because everyone loves being treated like a VIP. This podcast is your go-to resource for transparency, integrity, and the knowledge you need to make smarter real estate decisions. Whether you're a seasoned investor or a first-time homebuyer, we've got you covered. So buckle up and get ready to move up in the world of real estate. It's time for Real Estate on the Up. I'm joined today by Jessica Estrada, owner of the Wolf Group at Keller Williams Advantage 3 Realty. I've had the pleasure of knowing Jessica for more than 10 years, and she is one of the most impressive resumes of any realtor I've ever met. It's amazing. She was born in Mexico City and moved to Florida at age 4, remained a Florida resident through the college years at Stetson. And then after graduating, she spent the next 2 decades globetrotting, working, living, and studying in over 100 countries, plus Antarctica, helping her become fluent in Spanish, French, and German. She also worked as the guest recognition manager for the Ritz Carlton before she embarked on a real estate career, which I think is absolutely fantastic because they're some of the world leaders in customer service. Since 2011, she has owned and operated her real estate team with a focus on helping people build wealth through home ownership. I love her dedication to volunteer work and also her impeccable work ethic, which is amazing. And I'm delighted she's joining us today. So let's welcome her to the show, Jessica Estrada.
Wow. Thank you that was a great introduction, Kyle. I appreciate it. I'm so excited to be here. And, probably one thing that we have in common that also for customer service is our work at Disney, because we both actually worked at Disney. That was before I started traveling and everything, but we have that in common as well.
That is absolutely true. And I love it when Disney cast members decide to take the plunge into real estate, because I feel like there's so much that translates. You wouldn't think it at first, but this world is so much about customer service. It's a people industry, much more than people think, much more, I think, than a sales position. And if people have that wonderful customer service background like you do, I think it makes them very successful agents.
Yeah, I agree. It definitely, I know quite a few Disney cast members that have done really great in real estate. And I think there's so many things that you can learn from the hospitality industry that apply to real estate. So I think
You're absolutely right.
transition.
Yeah. You've done so many neat things. So you started with Disney, you worked in the cruise industry, you worked in luxury hotel sales. So after doing all these different things, what drew you to the real estate world? And then how has that evolved over the years?
Yeah, I think it was a natural transition because I worked at the residential ship, The World, for 9 years and sold apartments on board the ship. However, I didn't need to have a real estate license because we were doing the transactions in international waters.
Oh,
And so it taught me a lot about real estate, working with people, working with, a lot of homeowners that were buying a lifestyle. They were really buying the opportunity to travel the world without leaving home. And a lot of people still tell me today, Kyle, I can't even believe it. They tell me they've never heard of this ship, and it's been in the water since 2001. It's still out there, still doing resales. It's a phenomenal way to have a home and be able to travel, which are 2 of my passions.
it is so neat. And I've actually heard, I think there's some others that are going to be launching or have launched that I've heard about. And I've seen some pictures and it's like, I would live on that ship. It looks awesome. So such a cool background. And then you have the background in luxury sales in that regard. It kind of similar to real estate in some ways, but how has that helped, and translated into marketing the high-end homes that you sell today?
Yeah, I think it taught me to market. Once you do get into the high-end properties, it's more of a lifestyle. It's not so much that you're buying a house, you're also buying the lifestyle. And I think that's an important thing to look at when you're looking at luxury properties. For instance, is it on waterfront? Is it on a golf course? Does it have conservation view, lots of land? So you've got to look at what is the property, what are the features and benefits, and who is that target audience, and what lifestyle are you selling? And I think that's what, luxury, when I think of luxury properties, a lot of times that's what you're selling is that lifestyle.
Yeah, that's true. It's more than just bricks and mortar. There's a lot more to it, especially when you get into people of that sort of category of wealth where they can buy anything they want. It's more about finding something that speaks to them and the way that they envision their life there.
Yeah, exactly. And how they're going to use it. Like, are they going to, like the property I have right now in Fort Lauderdale, that owner of that property is going to be somebody that owns a yacht and is looking for a place to be able to have their yacht and their house and be able to reach the ocean easily, right? So that's the
Yeah.
lifestyle that owner is going to purchase. And so that's what you have to market to.
That is an incredible property, by the way. So
Thank you.
just a quick plug. Tell us a little bit about that home.
Well, it's one of my clients from the world that had asked me to see if I could help him sell the property. It's got 376 feet of dock space, which is unheard of in Lauderdale. So you have a great area where you can actually park 2 or 3 boats, depending on the size of the boat. It has direct access to the ocean. It's just a short 15 minutes there is one bridge that opens up, but it's tall enough that you can get pretty much any boat underneath to be able to get out to the ocean. So it's
Wow.
got that direct access. It's close to Las Olas. It's just a phenomenal property, new construction, over 6,000 square feet. But really, the selling point is the dock. It's being able to have your yacht and be able to power it, because it's got one of the docks has 100 amps and the other one 200 amps of power. So you can dock some pretty big boats there.
Yeah. What an incredible property.
Yeah.
Well, everyone listening out there, if you're listening and watching, this truly is impressive. I've seen the photos and video. It is phenomenal.
But yeah, so it's just a lifestyle, right? So it's just looking at it at differently. And I think that using that level of service with every price point, I think is also something I think that you and I both do, right? Is we treat everyone, we want to give them basically the Ritz Carlton service at any price point.
Right. You have a unique perspective on this too, because it's very international because of your travels and where you've worked. So because of that, studying in places like Paris and Austria and things, how do you bring the international world into real estate locally? I know you have some unique certifications and designations.
Yeah, so I do have the CIPS, which is the Certified International Property Specialist designation, and the Transnational Referral Certification, which basically means that I know how to work with clients from other countries. Having traveled so much, I know there's a lot of cultural differences. There's certain nationalities, like for instance, a lot of the Latin nationals want to meet face to face. They want to go have a coffee. It's very much about you becoming part of the family. So it's a different way than maybe dealing with someone from the US that might be more direct and want to just get the business done. Or you might have France, that might want to sit down and have a glass of wine and talk about selling their home. And so just knowing how to apply the cultural differences in addition to being able to speak the languages, because I can speak Spanish, French, German, and English. And so I can work in any of those languages. And I've built a referral network all over the world. So I just had somebody the other day asking me, where they could go in France, what one of my favorite restaurants was. So I can kind of point them in that direction. So it's just a lot of different things.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I mean, it's a background that so few agents have, but if agents do want to explore that international world and get designations like that, what are some ways that you think that could translate to business here in Orlando? How would that be beneficial to agents?
Well, Orlando is a very international city. I mean, we have people from all over the world here in Orlando. I would highly recommend the starting place. There's a great book called Kiss, Bow, and Shake Hands. And that book talks about how to work with different cultures and be able to look at what's important in doing business. Some cultures, like if you gave them a gift of a Cutco knife, that would be offensive because it means that you're severing the relationship. So for those nationalities, you may not want to do that. So Kiss, Bow, and Shake Hands tells you things like that. And so does the classes for CIPS. But at the end of the day, I think we are a very international community here in Orlando. And we have people moving here and moving away from all different countries, and being able to work with anyone and respect them and treat them the way they would expect to be treated is very important.
Yeah, yeah. Learning the cultural differences is so key. And I know the Institute for Luxury Home Marketing also helps with that. And that's where I had first heard about that book, which is amazing.
Yeah, that's a great course too, actually. And yeah, that book is fantastic. It's phenomenal. It does give you a lot of insight, to working with different cultures.
Definitely. So let's talk for a minute about local real estate here because although you do travel extensively still today and you work with customers all over the world, this is kind of your home base at the moment. So what advice would you give to someone looking to purchase a dream home here?
Oh, wow. So I would say, oh my God, yeah, that's a great question. I think really like knowing what's important to you and then working with someone that can help you achieve your goal, right? And help you be able to find the right property. And sometimes it takes looking for properties that are not necessarily on the market, that maybe expired, that were on the market previously, or just going through a neighborhood if someone really loves a certain neighborhood. Just finding someone that can help you and go that extra mile to be able to help you find the right property. So I think number one is you as the consumer knowing what it is that you want, and then finding someone that's willing to work on your behalf to help you find it. Because today with technology, everyone can look online and see a lot of the photos and the homes and everything, but it takes a real expert to help you navigate through the process of buying a home, because it's not as easy as some people paint it out to be. There's a lot involved.
Yeah, I agree. So what I'm hearing from all this is you need an agent who brings value to that relationship, who's going to do something that's going to help make your life easier, help you siphon through all these thousands of listings that are out there to those that are the perfect fits. And it's an art to do that. Finding the right agent who you connect with, who really understands you, takes the time to do that. It makes a huge difference in the process. And of course, a knowledgeable agent who has the experience to achieve the goals too.
Yeah, and I think you want an agent that's really going to care about what's important to you, right? Because at the end of the day, it's your home, and it has to be somebody that's willing to listen to you and be able to help you navigate through the process and help you select a home by listening to what you need and then helping you find what it is that what you want in the house.
Sure. Now you work obviously with both luxury customers and then also customers that are not in the luxury segment. You're first-time home buyers and customers like that, investors looking for less expensive homes. So could you share some tips? Because this is an interesting real estate climate that we're in right now. For first-time home buyers, what advice can you give to them looking to purchase a property here in Orlando?
For a first-time home buyer, I'd say that you want to make sure that you're pre-qualified with a lender, that you've already given them all your documents so that you're in the strongest position to purchase. And then I think also just having somebody that can guide you through the process, because there's a lot of things that you don't know. You don't know what you don't know, they say often, right? So you have someone that can help you and can also show you and explain every step of the process, because there's a lot involved in buying a house. Some people think there's not a lot, but there's like 170 something things that have to happen before you actually close on a house. So having somebody that can explain that to you and be able to guide you through the process.
Definitely, definitely. So changing now from the buying side to the listing side, because the market that you buy in is certainly the market you sell in as well. What advice would you give to someone looking, or let's say, what factors would you consider when listing a home here? Because Orlando's a unique marketplace and it's different than a lot of places in the country.
Oh, yeah, because there's so much variety, and there's investors, like you said, first-time home buyers, luxury. There's a little bit of everything here.
Yeah.
And I think when selling a home, one is you've got to price it for the market that you're in. I think a lot of sellers just want to price a house because they value it wherever they value it, or they saw the Zestimate, or they saw something online and they feel like their house is worth a certain amount and it may not be worth that. So I think you need to enlist a professional that's going to tell you the reality, not what you want to hear, and that's going to be able to help you price right. Because if you price wrong in this market, you're going to chase the market down. Because right now, homes that are priced well are coming out on the market and they're going with multiple offers if they are priced well and they look good. But if they are not priced good, if they're priced high, they're going to have to keep doing price reductions to get to where the market is, and they're going to be chasing the market down. So I think that, and then staging. I do not take a listing without staging. I always have my stager there, and I would not do a listing without chalet. Just being able to tell you what you need to do to prepare the home in the eyes of the buyer. And I think it's being able to detach. It is your home and you've lived a long time there. However, you need to be able to detach from that and be able to position the house in the eyes of the buyer to attract the most buyers.
Right, right. Yeah. I think important today for sellers to understand the market is definitely different than it was 2 years ago. It's amazing how rapidly it's changed. And you're absolutely correct about pricing right so you're not chasing the market, because we are seeing some of that right now where times on market are starting to grow. Even homes that you look at and gosh, this is a beautiful property. They sit and they're not moving. So pricing correctly, especially when buyers are a little more cautious, they're taking their time, they're making sure they're not overpaying, is really, really vital. And are you seeing the same thing with listings that you have where it is, things aren't moving quite as fast, things are taking a little longer, buyers are being more cautious?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm also seeing a lot of the first contracts falling out. So a buyer gets really excited, makes an offer, and then they just either the interest rates change or something happens and they cancel. And so we have to go to the second offer. So I am seeing that happen. And I'm also seeing some homes sitting a little bit longer on the market if they're not presenting as well as they could. So if they're not fully updated, I think everyone's been watching all these TV shows and they expect the house to look like HGTV and be like a perfect model home straight out of a builder. And if it's not, then they're not pulling the trigger.
You're
So
absolutely right. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, marketing it correctly, making sure it looks great, it smells great, it feels great when people walk through. It's really important.
Yeah.
So, because you've done local real estate and you've also worked with real estate in other places, what are some of the key differences you've noticed between marketing real estate here in Florida versus other parts of the world?
Well, it's very different. I mean, we're blessed in the US to have centralized MLS. Most countries don't have that. So, most countries, like if you were going to buy a house in France, for instance, you might have to go to different listing agents to see what listings they have and then be able to look at putting an offer in. So, they don't have exclusive listings and they don't have a shared system to promote all the listings. The same in Mexico. My aunt is in Mexico and she does real estate in San Miguel de Allende. And there's no centralized MLS. They have some ways to share listings, but if it makes it harder to market them in some other countries as well.
Oh gosh, I would imagine that is really tough if there's not one place to go to see everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. It's something we haven't had to deal with here in the United States in decades. So,
Yeah, we're
wow.
very lucky here.
We really are. Now,
Yeah.
you are super passionate about volunteer work, and you've, for years and years and years, done some really great things. So I would like to take a few minutes for you to talk about your volunteer work with Keller Williams Next Gen and how it enriches your life and your career.
Yes. So I've been on the board of directors for Keller Williams Next Gen, which is our nonprofit 501(c). I've been on the board since 2016. Or no, sorry, 2018. I've been teaching the class since 2016, and it is one of my favorite things to do. There is nothing that is more fun than taking this material and teaching it to young people and just seeing their faces light up when they grasp some of the concepts. And the whole premise of the class is to help young people be able to figure out their life's purpose or what their mission statement is, and to help give them the tools to be able to live out that mission statement and to have a life that's full from the start. And also to look at who they're surrounding themselves with, how they're growing, how they can start building wealth at an early age to live the life that they want, really. It's just such a fun class to do. And we also, now the young people can get scholarships. So by attending the class, they can apply for coaching and then they can apply for a $5,000 scholarship towards anything educational. So it's not real estate related. It's really for anyone that is looking to, change their life and figure out a way to be able to be a master of their life.
That's fantastic. And so tell us about some of the things you focus on. Is there an economic element or a financial element to what you're telling them? Because young people, especially going through high school these days, do not receive some of the basic life lessons of how to do things financially. It's amazing that's not covered. Is that part of the course that you guys teach?
Yeah, we do. We talk about different rules of money and studying money. We talk about the path of money, how you can either own a business or you can lend money, different ways you can earn money. We also talk about passive income, and we talk about building wealth through real estate as well. I've had quite a few young people, which is one of my favorite things, is when they go out and they buy a house, to go to college. And they buy a house, they get roommates. The roommates actually pay the mortgage. So the young person is starting to build wealth. Sometimes they partner with their parents. We had one of our students who partnered with his dad, bought a house, got roommates, they were paying the mortgage. And then when he graduated college, they're going to sell the house. The dad is going to take back the amount that he loaned him to start, and then they're going to split the proceeds or the equity between the father and the son. So it's a great way for them to learn about how to build wealth at an early age instead of just getting a dorm room in college, thinking about getting a house and then getting roommates. It's just a great way to start.
Yeah, it's amazing how home ownership is such an incredible tool for wealth building. And when you see the statistics of the net worth of people who own a home versus rent, it is staggering. I'm always shocked when I see that. I wish that it would be something that would be taught to more people, especially people who might not come from backgrounds where home ownership is as discussed or as prevalent, what a difference it can make, and that it is possible. If you meet the right agent, you set goals, you discuss how to get there, the different things that you need to do, it is possible. It's possible for almost anyone to achieve if you have the right help.
Yeah. And, we find our students, a lot of times they think you need 20% for a down payment. They don't realize that you can get an FHA loan with 3.5% down. And that really is a game changer because you can get into a home for a lot less. And even now, going into July 1st, I think Hometown Heroes is coming back. So there's opportunities for assistance there with down payments. So there's different ways to be able to get into home ownership and start building wealth.
Yeah, absolutely. It's incredible the difference it can make in people's lives. And I think being able to change lives like that through your volunteer efforts, through helping first-time homebuyers, it's so incredibly rewarding. I mean, it's one of the things that I love about what I do is getting people into home ownership, especially when they're younger, so that you can watch them grow, you can watch them flourish. And it's phenomenal. I know you and I share that sort of perspective that this is a people business and it's about creating those lasting relationships with customers. It's not just about closing a transaction.
Yeah, you want to be their realtor for life. You want to be there every step of the way to help them with whatever it is that they need at that time. And so it's about having that relationship. And I would say that's probably one of my core values is building those relationships for lifetime. When I collect relationships, I just got a referral, just a funny relationship thing. My CIPS class that I took in 2011, I met this agent, Dot, with Keller Williams. She's in New York, and she just sent me the first referral. But we've stayed in touch all this time since 2011. It's amazing. We're under contract now. So
that's great. Hey,
yeah.
wow. Yeah, relationships matter. See?
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
So we have a combination of listeners who are out there, customers looking to buy or sell. We also have real estate agents who listen. And, with agents, sometimes it's hard to know how to get planted, how to get started, especially in this weird marketplace. Do you have any advice you can offer to anyone who's considering a career in real estate? What is a good way to start to begin working to achieve success?
I think you want to start building relationships with other agents because I think that, again, relationships matter and other agents can help you. They can share information, knowledge that they've learned. Plus, when you're working in a transaction, you can always learn from the other agent and you can work together to create a win-win for the buyer and the seller. And so I think it's looking at who can be your mentor or role model. Look at those agents that are doing great business, that are professional, that answer the phone, that are willing to help out, and seek those people out to help you along the journey.
That is great. Final question for you.
Okay.
If you could identify, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I think this is a good question. If you could identify one thing in your real estate career that you feel was an experience you had or a decision you made that really put you on a track to success and changed your career for the better, what would that be?
I would say hiring a coach. I would say hands down, my business really transformed in 2014 when I got a real estate coach, and they've helped me navigate a lot of things. It's kind of like having someone on your board of directors that can help you grow your business and continue learning and evolving. And if you can't hire a coach, I'd say go to as many classes as you can as well.
There you go. There you go. Like they say, even the world's greatest athletes all have coaches to help them, right? So it's good to have that help and that different perspective. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Jessica, thank you so much for joining us today. This was a pleasure having you on, and it was great to connect with you again. So I know there's a lot of people out there who might have more questions for you or want to connect with you to learn more about how you can help them with international sales and things. So what is the best way for people listening to get in touch with you?
So my email is jessica@wolfgrouprealestate.com. You can shoot me an email. Would love to connect. You can find all my information online. My socials are Jessica Estrada Wolf. So you can find that as well. I'd love to connect. One of my superpowers is connecting people too. So if you need a realtor anywhere in the world, I can probably connect you to one. That's good at connecting people.
That's amazing. Yes, you are. Jessica Estrada, thank you so very much for taking the time to spend with us today. This was great, and I'm sure everyone enjoyed listening as well. So I'm very appreciative of your time today.
Thank you, Kyle. It's been fun.
Great. Take care, everybody. As we conclude another eye-opening episode of Real Estate on the Up, I want to express my appreciation for joining us. Thank you for being a valuable part of the Real Estate on the Up community. Your time and engagement mean the world. So make sure you subscribe and leave a review. Your real estate goals are my priority, and my team and I are here to provide the personalized attention and service that have earned us high recognition. If you have questions, need guidance, or are ready to make a move, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm just a message away. I'm Kyle Madoran, one of Rate My Agent's top 100 in the United States, signing off. Until next time, take care and make those real estate dreams a reality.